Hi, my name is Sebastian Matteau, and in this video I would like to talk about something different than what I usually talk about in my videos. Namely how to make paperback books such as this one. And my motivation for doing that is that I like to write short stories, and then rather than try to find a publisher to publish them or to self-publish them online as ebooks, I decided to distribute my stories in these handmade paperbacks, which I then sell on a very small scale. And after some trial and error, and also after watching a lot of YouTube tutorials such as this one, I came up with a process that allows me now to make these paper books with what I feel is a very professional quality, almost indistinguishable from what you would buy in a bookstore, using pretty cheap materials and also a very limited set of tools. So let's take a look at how you can make your own handmade, professional looking paperbacks. Okay, let's take a look at all the materials that we need before we actually get to work. So here we have a sheet, that is the cover. So it's difficult to see on the camera, but it's a very nice thick sheet that almost has this kind of linen sort of canvas feel to it. I buy that as very large sheets in an art supply store, then I cut it to A4 and I print it. And then to make sure that the colors and the toner stays nicely preserved, I treat it afterwards with varnish, this kind of spray can of varnish, to make sure that basically the colors don't let go. Then of course we need the contents of the book, so that's what we have here, pages, the actual pages. You see, I will show you. You see, I print this in booklet format, which means that there are 2 pages on every A4 sheet, so to say. And then we will cut it in half, and that's how we will make the book. And the type of paper is very important. So you can make books with regular sort of printing paper that you can buy in the office supply store. And they have quite nice paper often that is a little bit broken white or cream colored. But it's even better if you can buy proper book printing paper. It has a different kind of texture. You buy it in very large sheets, again at the art supply store. And if you use this kind of paper, it's difficult to see on the camera, but it will make your book look much more professional and much more like the type of paperback that you're used to from the bookstore. So it's a special kind of paper, but not expensive. Here we have bookbinder's mold. This is a little netty thing that I will glue to the spine. So basically it will sit behind the cover and the pages, and it is used to glue everything together. Combined with glue, of course. And then here we have a colored sheet of paper. I just use that to sit behind the cover as the first and the last page of the book, because I think that looks nice. So those are the materials, all of it very cheap. In terms of the tools, I covered the varnish already to treat the cover. This is bookbinding glue. You can use regular type of what we call wood glue as well, but bookbinding glue is specifically for this. You can buy very big pots, it's not expensive. A brush for doing the actual applying the glue, a screwdriver or something similar that is not too sharp. We're going to use that to create the fold markings in the cover. A hobby knife. If your book is not too thick, if there are up to 50 pages, you can do all the cutting easily with a hobby knife. This book is 140 pages, and that's why I use this cutting machine, because it makes it much easier to cut. But you can do in principle everything with the hobby knife. A ruler, a cutting mat, 2 clamps, because we're going to have to fix the book when we apply the glue and later when we're going to let it dry. And a little piece of wood, and I actually have another contraption that you will see in a bit to actually fix the book while we're gluing it and having it dry. Let's start with the cover. So on the cover, as you can see, I printed these red markings. They will be cut off in the end, but they indicate where we have to create fold markings. So, and the cover needs to actually fold at 4 places. 2 places basically around the spine, right? That's the regular big fold. And then a few millimeters further, there are 2 other folds that are called escape folds. That sounds a little bit abstract, but I'll show you what I mean with that in a bit. And the difficult part is that we want to create those fold markings by basically sort of cutting the cover like this, but we want to do that on the back so that we don't damage the colors, right? We don't damage the print. So how can you do that? There's the following trick. Basically, I use the hobby knife to make small cuts on these markings. Okay, and now I have these cuts, and now I can flip the page over, and I can tell, based on these cuts, where I have to make the foldings. And this means that I can perfectly align my folds that I make on the back with the print on the front. That's the logic. Okay, so now we've folded it in 4 places. Up. Let's make the folds a bit crisper. And let's now take a look at the so here we have the inner folds for the spine. And then you see, if I fold it like this, there are these 2 what are called escape folds, and they basically allow the cover to flip open, right? So without actually putting too much force onto the spine. That's the reason for having these 2 extra folds. I should say, right now I'm using a screwdriver-like thing. If you're using, I can do that because this is very thick paper. If you use thinner paper for the cover, use something that's a little bit more gentle, because otherwise you will cut through the cover. Okay, the next step is to cut the paper. So here I have a stack of paper. It's an A4 format for now. And I'm going to cut it with this cutting machine. And you can also do this with a hobby knife, but it's much easier to do it with a cutting machine if you have a lot of pages. Okay, and make sure that you actually put the pages back together correctly, right? So 68 here, 69 here, so I know, like this is how they should be. And now the next step is to glue the book together. So here we have the contents, here we have the cover. So we're going to put first the contents into the cover, and then make sure that it's kind of up, that it's kind of nice, and that all the pages touch the spine. Once you're happy, we need to fix the book and fold the cover open. Up. And you see, here I'm using a kind of template that I made based on an IKEA cutting board. That makes it a bit easier for me to fix the book. In principle, you don't really need all that, of course, but what you need is basically to put the book together, fold the cover open, the way that I did now, so that you can reach the spine here, and that you can apply glue there to the spine. Now I'm going to take the bookbinder's mold and apply the glue to the spine. And I apply it quite thickly. So make sure that all the pages are covered in glue. Also apply a little bit of glue sort of at the top, just behind where the escape fold will be. Then we take the bookbinder's mold and apply it to the spine. And then also apply some glue on top of the bookbinder's mold. And then a third layer of glue on the spine itself and behind the escape folds. But make sure that you stay within the escape folds. So not below this line and not below the analogous line at the top. Alright, and then once you're happy with how you've done this, release the book. Up. And fold it like this. Hit it a few times. And then we take a little piece of extra paper. Up, and put it back. So the logic here is that by sort of using this extra piece of paper and folding it around the cover, I can exert some pressure like this and exert some pressure directly onto the spine. Whereas if I would do that directly onto the cover, I would damage the cover, right? So that wouldn't look very nice. But like this, I can actually apply a lot of force. Okay, so now the book has been glued together, but it needs to dry, of course. So we take it out. And then I generally just put the book onto the table, put a piece of wood onto it, and it's important that this piece of wood is kind of straight so that it exerts a more or less equal pressure everywhere onto the book. Up. Take a clamp and clamp it, exert a little bit of pressure, but not too much, because otherwise basically you will deform the book. But like this, it sits perfectly, and we can let it dry for a few hours. Usually I leave it overnight, but say at least 3 or 4 hours, and then you can cut it. All right, now let's take a look. The book is dry now. Up. So in principle it's good now, but of course we need to cut it to size, right? So, and I have decided I want 1 centimeter off here, 1 centimeter and a half here, and 2 centimeters off here. And that's what we're going to use the cutting machine for. Okay, and now we have our finished product. A very nice looking, professional, high quality, very solid paperback. Can fold it open, make the fold a little bit crisper. There's a little bit of excess glue here. Carefully. Carefully fold it open. That happens sometimes, a little bit of excess glue, but that's okay. Up, and there we are. The Botanist and Other Stories, a very nice paperback that I can now, be proud of. Thank you very much for watching.